Hello, this is Allison Sullivan with another video. I want to show you a brand new technique that I learned called Acrylic Distress. I learned it from a magazine that all demonstrators receive each month called Stampin Success. And this is the March issue. And it's got fabulous ideas in it. And this month it had a new technique that I'd never tried before called Acrylic Distress. And so that's what I'm going to share with you in the video. The first thing you want to do is get a piece of neutral cardstock. I'm using Whisper White, but you could use Very Vanilla. And I like to just kind of adhere it to a piece of paper with a temporary glue, and this is our Dotto. So that just keeps my paper from moving all over the place while I'm painting it. I'm going to take some acrylic paint you get at the dollar store, and I'm going to squirt a little blob of it in the middle of my paper. You can use a brayer to apply the paint, but I find that if I use just a foam brush, it's really great for coverage and it's easy to wash up. So I'm just going to spread a thin layer, I don't want it too thick, over top of my entire piece of cardstock. Okay, and I'm just doing it in one direction. Your paper might curl, but the next part of this technique will take care of that. So once that's done, you're going to just set that aside and let it dry. And I'm going to bring in a dry piece. It only takes a few minutes to dry. The next step in the process is to emboss it. And I'm going to bring in my Big Shot. And I'm using the wallpaper or the vintage wallpaper embossing folder. And I want to make sure that Sizzix and the word Stampin' Up are facing up, because that's the top of the impression folder, the part that's going to be raised. And I want to make sure that my painted side is facing up towards that. So I've got my Big Shot and it's on tab 1. I'm going to put my embossing folder parallel to the handle here, and I've got my hinge on the opposite side of my handle. It just helps not put as much pressure on the hinge as it goes through the Big Shot, and you'll have less likelihood of that cracking the hinge. So I'm just going to roll that through. At the end of the video, I'll put a link to my Big Shot special for celebration, because it's I have a great deal on the Big Shot right now. So I'm going to remove that. So now I've got my piece of cardstock, and you can see that it's just a raised image. Next step in the process is to take a sanding block. Tip for this, don't do it at an angle, like don't rub it this way, put it flat on your paper and run it right across. And as you do that, you'll start to see that the paint is coming off your paper, and it's revealing the white cardstock underneath. So it takes a little bit of elbow grease, and you want to make sure that you tap off all that excess dust. I'm not going to do the entire piece. I'm just going to go ahead now and show you what the next step is. I'm going to bring in some classic ink. I've chosen soft suede because I love it. It looks really vintagey, which is what this technique really lends itself well to. And a dauber. I'm going to ink up my dauber, and in a circular motion, I'm going to apply my ink. You don't want to put too much ink on, because you don't want to really grab the cardstock, the flat parts of the cardstock. You really are dealing with the raised parts. And so this is just going to add color to those white exposed areas. Okay. So once you've got the entire piece done, you can use it you can punch it out, you can use it as a whole sheet, you can use one of the Big Shot dies and cut out a shape. This card that I'm going to show you, the first one, I've used the framelets, the label framelets, which is a new product we're offering from Stampin' Up. And you can see on this card that I've got the framelit cut out here. And I'll be doing a video on really great tips using those framelets soon. So that's the first card. Second card I want to show you is I've taken a punch and I've just punched out an image and used it as an embellishment on the card itself. And then lastly, I've taken this exact same piece and I've just used a scallop punch. This is the 2 3/8 scallop punch, and I've punched out a shape. And then I just used it on a card. So this was the piece here, and I just added a word. This is the word dream from Loving Thoughts, which is a stamp set in the Occasions Mini. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I really hope that you'll give the acrylic distress a try. Thanks so much for watching, and happy stamping.